Look, we got Luis here. And Scott, I don't know how much you've kept up with the writer's strike, the SAG strikes that are happening in Hollywood, but Luis, last time, it might have been last time you were on, but it was close. We had very good conversations about what's been happening with these strikes. And thankfully, the writer's strike is over. Writers got a great deal. From what I've seen, they got everything they were asking, or pretty much everything they were asking for. But the Screen Actors Guild and the actors, they are still on strike. They seem to start up discussions with studios again about a week or two ago, and the studios hit them with an offer that was reportedly less than what they hit them with before the strike started. What are your thoughts on the end of the writer's strike and what's happening with SAG?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, I'd like to point out that I went to therapy today, so I was wearing my sad Batman shirt.
Oh,
My therapist was not happy with my bit, but anyway.
champion you though for going to therapy. That's great.
Hey, it's my first time, man. I broke my cherry. It was good. Mental
Yeah.
health is important. So, but yeah, so honestly, actually, we had on the stream, and we'll have a podcast episode on Mi Gente show that's dropping in a couple of weeks about this, because we spoke to actually a writing team. Now, what that means is these two women that wrote for 13 Reasons Why, they wrote for the Lopez versus Lopez, and they come as a package deal, which means that you get two writers for the price of one. That means they'd have to work twice as long to get any sort of medical coverage and other stuff, and they basically really got paid half of what a normal writer would do. And with this new deal, specifically as it pertained to writing teams, they got a lot out of it. So the writers really did a great job sticking together. It was funny to see people like Drew Barrymore throw away their entire reputation to try to pretend they were going to start their show up, only to have the strike end like 2 weeks later. Like, they were basically willing to risk it all to start, and then the strike ended 2 weeks early, which I think is hilarious. And yeah, I think what's happening right now is, like, the funniest thing for me about what's been happening during the strike is it being very easy to see transparently what outlets are deeply in the pocket of the studios. And all these little news articles that they were trying to drop that saying, oh, the writers are about to crack and this is about to end, like George Clooney and all these other actors are pressuring the union and stuff like that. It's all bullshit. I think that that the actors will eventually get most of what they're wanting for. I think that that there's no going back after they gave in to the writers' demands, and I think after that, the video game actors and writers are also behind them. So I think it's just a matter of time. But there was a lot of optimism from the people that I was talking to and the actors that I know that there was going to be some momentum after the writers got their deal to do that. But apparently, the studios are trying to hold the line on certain things that are non-starters for the actors. And when you think about the fact that, for smaller, I think in the end maybe some of the top tiered actors might have to take a little bit of a pay cut to help out, if anything. But when you think about what they wanted to do to background actors, which is to have you show up one day, scan you, and what they were doing without even asking or telling people, which is scanning people's likeness, taking their voice, and basically saying we have the right to your likeness in perpetuity. That's kind of like a non-starter for most actors that are starting out these days. You give the example of Matt Damon and Ben Affleck in the background of some early movies when they were background actors, which would mean that studio technically could have just been like, after they hit with Good Will Hunting, could be like, oh, sorry, we own you. You're a star now, but we're going to just make a bunch of movies just with your likeness, and that nobody's going to really go for that. So the AI stuff, the writers got a good deal. The only thing I didn't like about it is just like a 3-year deal, which might set this up for us in the night, which means we might have to go through this all over again. But I do have a little bit of confidence that in the end, it's going to be a better industry for like the staffing minimums, the keeping writers on during the show, because technically once the show is filming, some of these writers weren't getting paid, but you have to do this while you're filming, you have to rewrite scenes on the go. You have to do things like that. So a lot of those things got taken care of. And I'm really happy that all my writer friends are that were staffed are back to work now, and we're hoping, for somebody like me who's a pre WGA writer, pre Directors Guild, stuff like that. It makes it so that it's a little less daunting to think about getting into this room. Now what we need to do is get more people of color and have these rooms get staffed with more variety and stuff like that, for doing that. And for the actors, hopefully it gets taken care of pretty quickly.
And just to keep everything updated as we, close out that talk, we see this latest headline from Deadline, which is about how Hollywood's biggest stars offer to kick in $150 million over 3 years in dues to help end the actors' strike stalemate. This is led by people like George Clooney, and says, Luis, the offer would remove the $1 million cap on membership dues in an effort to bring a residual system. The stars have also proposed a formula that would make the lowest names on the call sheet who most need the money the first to be paid and get residuals. So I don't know if that will bring up much in terms of helping.
I think SAG is going to try not to have to pull that card. I think the fact that they're bringing it up means they're probably the studios are being really firm on other stuff. But in the beginning, it's always been clear that one of the things that the studios were saying was some of these actors make so much money and their quotes are so high that if your goal is to be a star and you want to make 20 million a movie, 25 million a movie, a percentage of the gross, then that takes away a little bit of the pie from the people at the bottom. So I think it was always going to involve some sort of tax for these people that have villas in Italy and obviously are not, they don't necessarily need to make 20 million on every movie. They're good. Obviously you want to get paid what you're worth, but I do hope that sort of signifies that we're close on negotiations.
I like my villa in Italy. That's where I get that AI. That's how we have that AI image of Zuhair Ali of the Animation Deliberation right there in the corner. Hi, Zoo.
Hello.
Zoo, I want to ask you as we transition a little bit, and I know Scott has thoughts on this too, but, we're in the middle of the strike and it's affected the entertainment industry, but it didn't affect the box office too much if we could just keep pumping out Taylor Swift concert films. And we saw this past weekend, the NFL star, she dominated the box office and broke records for the debut of a concert film, almost broke the October release record of that Joker hold. It made $96 million at the box office this weekend. Did you go?
Do you think I can get tickets to that? It's easier to get tickets to a Marvel movie.
What? Oh, yeah. Scott, what are your thoughts on it? You're already shaking your head. Rubbing the sweat off.
He's been shaking this can all day.
All right. I'm coming from a place of love. No, fuck these people. No, these Swifties are the stupidest motherfuckers in the whole world. I don't understand this. So, about the movie. I knew the movie was coming out. I thought it was gonna be like a cool, like behind the scenes, like the making of the making of the tour, really cool things throughout the whole process. No, it's a shot for shot showing of the fucking concert that people already saw online or paid the gross amount of money to go see this subpar average singer for whatever reason. So Taylor Swift's getting another money grab. So she already got all this fucking money from the Eras tour. And now she's making more money from releasing the Eras tour into the movie theater, where you see all these Swifties acting like they're in a cult, holding hands, doing Ring Around the Rosie in front of everyone, acting a fool. And then you know what's going to happen? In 2 years, they're actually going to release a director's cut, kind of behind the scenes, behind a tour movie. And she's going to get another paycheck after that. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any fucking sense. These Swifties are retarded, and I hate it.
She's 33 years old. Stop treating her like she's a teenager.
Oh my God. It doesn't make any sense. I don't get it.
Are you with them on this, Luis?
Listen, we talked with our resident Swiftie on the show the other day. We did a whole episode about the Swift Kelsey romance, the conspiracy theories, some of which are already coming through. Our resident Swiftie said that the conspiracy theory was this was all promotion for Deadpool 3, and that some information was going to drop that she might have a cameo in Deadpool 3. And wouldn't you know it, that information dropped about a week after that. So we did a deep dive into this and everything that's happening, and it was just sickening to just be watching. Obviously, the Jets Chief game was triggering to me because every time they're going to a commercial, they're fucking dropping lyrics, and they're doing this. And I don't want to go watch Killers of the Flower Moon and all of a sudden have some fucking a bunch of teeny boppers and fucking wine moms screaming and dancing next door while I'm watching Killers of the Flower Moon. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm double checking when I go watch movies for the next couple of weeks that it is not directly next door to some of these crazy people that are treating this 33-year-old grown ass woman like she's who's the very definition of mid in terms of looks, talent,
Thank you.
and her awkward dancing. And I'm sorry, Travis Kelce went from like dating 8s and 9s to like a solid Minnesota 4. So I'm not really with that. And I'm assuming I will get the wrath of the Swiftie army at some point. But
the only song that I can think of when I think Taylor Swift is Sir Mix-a-Lot's "Baby Got Back," because that's all she got is back. She ain't got nothing else. She's just a lowercase L at this point, straight down. And the closest thing that I can think of as far as like this cult-like atmosphere with the fan base is Michael Jackson. But at least Michael Jackson, with all his faults, is actually talented.
Yeah, when we were doing our thing, I pulled up this entire video of her just awkward dancing, and it was just it's just too much for me, man. It's just...
You didn't like her dancing to Bad Bunny at the Grammys? She was the only person that was in the audience that dared to dance.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man.
If I want to see an awkward white person dance, I'll go look in the mirror. What the fuck? I'm not going to go pay hundreds of dollars to go watch some bitch do this.
Listen, I don't know what the biggest downgrade was. Travis Kelce from his ex to Taylor, or the Jets from Aaron Rodgers to Zach Wilson, but it's close.
I don't know, but I kept tabs on how many times they were panning to both Aaron Rodgers and Taylor Swift, and it was 11-8 Taylor Swift over Rodgers in that game.
They should have turned NFL Red Zone back on just to have like an endless camera on the two of them.
You know how many subs they would have gotten for that? You need to actually take that to them. They can
look.
So
did you see the there was one funny part, which was the women that would be secretly recording their husbands and be like, oh, did you hear about this Travis Kelce guy that's dating Taylor Swift? He's finally gonna be famous. And all the guys were like, no, he's the best tight end of all time. And so I thought that part of it was some memeage came out of it and stuff like that, or like the Travis Kelce feels good to be a white man again meme. I thought that was hilarious. He went from being swagged out and fucking dating fucking big booty bitches to this, and I was like, God damn, yeah, that's true.
Can we talk about the female it's in the stands that actually truly matters in this world, and the only person we should really talk about, and that's Donna Kelce, because ever since that she showed up, ever since she showed up to that Jets Chiefs game, he has been on fire.
I'm tired of Donna Kelce. I'll say it. You all want to take the shots at Taylor Swift. I'll take the shots at Donna Kelce. She can go fuck off. I don't need her anymore on these NFL broadcasts. I don't
Travis Kelce too, man.
Fuck Jason Kelce. That's the one I'm tired of. I'm tired of Jason Kelce, the tush push, the brotherly shove, or whatever that shit is.
The Pfizer brothers.
The New Heights podcast.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Too much of them.
Too much. It's too much. And Taylor Swift hasn't helped. Donna hasn't helped. You know who I like? I like the dad. The dad wants nothing to do with this shit.
Oh, I think it's Ed.
Yeah. Ed sits in the stands with the people.
Quiet.
They don't want
him. He should be.
They said they don't want him anywhere near a mic. It's probably true, but
I could imagine he would say something problematic pretty quick.
Oh, easy. Oh, Zoo, do you have any rage-filled thoughts on Taylor Swift before we go?
He's gonna let me in.
Not rage-filled whatsoever. Like, I finally have time to go to the theater this weekend, so I'm glad it's easy to get tickets to the creator.
Just watch where the theater's at. Right next to the T Swift, man.
We just got through the whole like Barbie being in theaters phase too. So it's like every time I went by the theaters, it's like, oh, I wonder what they're going to go see. At the end of the day, everyone has their stuff that makes them happy. If it's anything cult-like, just keep it away from me. Who am I to say that, a movie or a concert or whatnot is something, if you enjoy it, by all means, go enjoy it. If you didn't have,
I was
$20,000 to go get a ticket and you're just trying to get tickets to this movie, by all means, you're helping the theater industry. You're helping people get jobs. There's a performance going on. I'm genuinely curious of how this looks. I'm not going to go out of my way to fight people for tickets though. So, if you enjoy it, by all means, be happy.
I was interested until I heard it was 3 hours, but
it's just a concert. Go on YouTube. You can watch the whole thing for free.
I think it was last year. I don't know if it was last year during the San Diego Latino Film Festival. There was the BTS concert movie was out.
Oh yeah,
and I remember just being super annoyed because we had screenings of like serious documentaries and shit, and we could hear people dancing and singing next door. So I can only imagine how horrible this is going to be.
The genocide was awful. We will never, ever, ever. Just in the background of a apartheid. Oh,